So, welcome to this talk. So, today I have taken this talk from the Buddhist scripture, from Buddha's own word. So, we have the collection of Buddha's talk in our scripture called Tripitaka, 3 baskets. And one of the basket deals with the discourses of the Buddha. So these discourses are generally dialogue between people. It's all dialogue, conversation of Buddha with different individuals, that Buddha met. Because Buddha had this skill of speaking to every individual according to the need of the individual. He was able to know the people's mind, and not only mind, but all the level of spirituality, level of their mind. So he was able to do that. So he taught for 45 years. When he, at the age of 35, he became Buddha, and he passed away at the age of 80. So 45 years he walked throughout the central India and, talked to people, taught to people, had conversation. So many of the sutras, we call it sutras, these teachings are recorded. So today it is from the book of 3 from the numerical section, so number section. So some of the sutras are arranged number wise. So number 3, in terms of 3. So the topic is about association. So today's theme is the role of association. So we have association, we have company, friends, and and the role of association in our life is huge. It's very, very huge. So Buddha has spoken a lot about association, how it can impact our life, how it can in fact decide the entire course of our life. Association has the power to literally change the entire direction of your life. It can just take wherever it likes based on the association. So he spoke in many places. So here, let me just read out for you. So Buddha says, bhikkhus, there are these 3 kinds of persons found existing in the world. So 3 kinds of people you find in the world. What 3? So what are the 3? Number 1, there is a person who is not to be associated with, followed, or served. So the first kind of person is, you should not associate with that person, you should not follow that person, you should not serve that person. This is the first kind of person. Of course, Buddha will go into detail. So let's see the second kind of person. Second, a person who is to be associated with, followed, and served. So it's just the opposite of the first kind of person. You have to associate with, follow that person, serve that person. And the third kind of person is a person who is to be associated with, followed, and served with honor and respect. So somebody who is not just to be associated, but with higher honor and respect. So you have different kinds of association. The first one, not to be associated; second one, to be associated; and third, to be associated, and also to be honor. So let's go into detail. The first one. And what kind of person bhikkhus is to be associated with, followed, and served? Here, some person is inferior, is not to be associated with, followed, and served. Here, some person is inferior to oneself in virtuous behavior, concentration, and wisdom. Such a person is not to be associated with, followed, and served, except out of sympathy and compassion. So so your association should be based on the quality of the person. Of course, here it is Buddha speaking to a monk. So naturally, Buddha would speak from a monastic or monkly quality. But in your own situation, you have to associate with the person based on the quality of the person. So even if you're not associating with somebody, you are not associating because you look into the wrong quality of the person, who has no quality, no good quality, basically. So looking at the quality, you associate with the person. So somebody who is lower to yourself in terms of quality, So somebody who is lower to you, here Buddha is saying behavior, concentration, wisdom. So basically Shila, Samadhi, Panya. So Shila means the person's values, the person's behavior, actions. And concentration, of course, is, in a spiritual world, it is a deeper state of mind where basically the mind state, Shila, virtue means your physical and verbal action. And the concentration, you can say, or you can say development, or the mental culture, or the mental quality, how much the person's mind is calm, peaceful. And the final one is wisdom, which is how understanding the person is, how realistic the person is, how practical the person is, how deeply the person has the view about the world, about the life, about the truth, about happiness, misery, about gain, about other factor which is necessary for happiness in the world. So why you do that is because if you follow somebody who is lower to you, then you don't have the scope to develop. You don't have the scope to take yourself up, toward the progress. It is not possible for you, right? So here association means that you spend time with the person, you spend more time with person, you talk, basically time and conversation. When you say association, it's about spending time and having conversation, right? So time and conversation, if you are giving to an individual who is not better than you, who is sort of lower than you, who is little lower than you, may not be very worst, but at least lower than you. And if you do that, then you might eventually find yourself to his level, right? You might find yourself to his level, or maybe even further down, right? So this association has a very, very strong impact. You might say, okay, so I associate with everybody, but it doesn't affect me. I'm what I am. You might assume, you might have this kind of a notion, assumption you have, but that's not how it works. Association will invariably have, it will definitely have a huge impact in molding your own personality, your own mind, and your own thinking, and your own vision, and your own pattern, habit pattern, right? So what Buddha is saying, you don't associate, but if you say, but if you have no other option, you have to be with that person, for whatever reason. So what you do, you just have sympathy and compassion. Like, you're like, okay, you're just have compassion, okay, may you be happy. You don't, Buddha is not telling you to hate that person. Buddha is not telling you to harm that person, and or try to just judge. Buddha is not telling you to judge the person and makes the person feel bad, feel inferior. He's not telling all of that. What he's telling is that save yourself, protect yourself against that association, and at the same time have compassion. Compassion is the meaning of compassion is to feel the difficulty of somebody, to have that feeling. So you genuinely feel that that person is really lower in terms of the quality of life. So I mean, you just feel it and you just say that, okay, let me be, just, I mean, whatever possible, you can help him to bring him up, but make sure that it doesn't consume you. In the process of trying to help, it doesn't consume you. So I think you have to spend as much lesser time as possible. Be mindful of the conversation that you have with that person, but at the same time, you don't become a purist, what we call the purist, which is like some kind of thinking that, okay, I'm higher, I'm like a greater, and this fellow is a is a worthless kind of fellow. So that can lead you to what we call the inferior complex, which is a form of ego, right? So it can lead you to ego, right? So there are some thin line between not becoming egoistic and being maintaining certain standard of your own quality of life. Okay, so I think this is the first one, and then the rest you can understand anyway, because in the second you are associating with. So what kind of person is to be associated with, followed and serve? Here, some person is similar to oneself in virtuous behavior, concentration, and wisdom. Such a person is to be associated with and followed. For what reason? Because one considers, since we are similar with regard to virtuous behavior, we will have a discussion on virtuous behavior, and it will flow on smoothly between us, and we will feel at ease. Since we are similar with regard to concentration, we'll have a discussion on concentration. So vice versa, they all are same. So what Buddha is saying is he's giving very practical advice, that since if you are associating with somebody who is higher or at least equal to you in terms of the quality of life, in terms of the standard of values or understanding or basically the human qualities, or I think you can also apply in your professional life as well, somebody who is slightly better than you, right? So what happens is that you will have the conversation, that's what I was telling you, that we will have a discussion on virtuous behavior. So our discussion will be similar, and that discussion has a strong impact on our mind. In fact, that's why Buddha said in the discourse on blessing, he gave a discourse on blessing called Mangala Sutra. The discourse deals with the blessing of life, how to derive blessing from our day-to-day life, so how we design our life in such a way, or what are the different way of deriving blessing from the life itself. There Buddha speaks about kalena dhamma sakacha, kalena dhamma savanam. So you have to timely listen to some good words, and also to discuss good word. You have to discuss about something which is good, which is good for you, which is healthy for you, right? So this discussion can happen, better discussion can happen, which will really help you to grow. So the final one, and what kind of person is to be associated with, followed and served with honor and respect. Here, some person is superior to oneself in virtuous behavior, concentration, and wisdom. Such a person is to be associated with, followed and served with honor and respect. For what reason? Because one considers, in such a way, I will fulfill the aggregates of virtuous behavior that I have not yet fulfilled, or assist with wisdom in various respect the aggregates of virtuous behavior that I have fulfilled. I will fulfill the aggregates of concentration similarly. So now I think somebody is lower than you. Second one is somebody equal to you. Now somebody who is higher than you. Okay. So if you do that, what happened? In such a way, I will fulfill the aggregates of virtue that I have not yet fulfilled. So something that you don't have, if you associate it with somebody who is lower to you, your own whatever quality you have, that will go away. Okay. But when you are with somebody who is equal to you, you share and you are able to maintain your own good quality, right? It might not go down, it might not go up, it will remain in certain level, in that level, because both of you share the same amount of quality, good quality. But now you have to take it further, right? So then you have to also look at people who are higher to you in terms of the quality of life. So then that way you will be able to develop furthermore, right? So first, we don't follow something which brings us down. Then secondly, we maintain what we already have, and then we go to the next level, right? So that's all it's about, so Buddha's teaching is all about all about developing yourself as an individual and taking yourself up and up and up, and training your own mind. In that training, it's all about training yourself, and then eventually you have more happiness in your life, because Buddha very clearly said in one place, I teach only two things. I make you known, I tell you what is suffering, and I tell you what is happiness. So we all know that we go through different misery, different difficulties, different kinds of unhappiness. So Buddha is saying that I deal with that. So now in today's discourse, with regard to association, if you don't follow some wrong association, that is also a condition for your happiness, right? You will be able to avoid unhappiness and then maintain your happiness to associate with people who are equal to you, and then increase your happiness by associating people who are higher to you in terms of the qualities of life. Okay, so I think I should conclude here. So Buddha is concluding with a verse. One who associates with an inferior person declines. One who associates with an equal does not decline. Attending on a superior person, one develops quickly. Therefore, you should follow one superior to yourself. So, of course, you should avoid people who are inferior in terms of the quality of life, in terms of values, in terms of behavior and understanding, and as well as you have to, if you have to maintain people who are associate with people who are equal to you, but then finally you have to go people who are higher to you. But if you don't get people who are higher to you, at least have people who are equal to you. Or if you don't have both, at least don't associate with wrong people. So huge important association, always Buddha spoke, is the reason for your happiness, is the reason for your unhappiness, is the reason for your wisdom, is the reason for your foolishness. So be careful next time to choose your association. So it has huge impact. That I hope by this time, all of you, looking at your age, all of you must have already experienced this to some extent. I don't know. Okay, so now I conclude my small talk here, and maybe we for maybe 10 minutes or something, we'll have 5-10 minutes, and we'll open it for question. If anybody has any question, you may ask. Raise your hand if you have any question. माइक है नहीं, माइक नहीं है क्या? तो दूसरा वाला if you have any question, please raise your hand. No question, huh? Yeah, please. Can you say in the mic so everybody can listen? Okay. Switch it on. Yeah.
How to suppress the negative thoughts which comes frequently?
Okay, so that's the question. Can you a little bit elaborate, like, if the question?
Yeah. Every time if you do something, or if you are doing something, so some thoughts will come, right, which will make you scared that something wrong might happen, or to this person, or to this person, or in general. So to deal with that situation, what we should do.
Okay. Okay, so fear, of course, is something that is healthy as well, right? So it depends on how you use your fear, or what kind of fear it is, just like desire is also can also be healthy desire as well as unhealthy desire. So if you feel fearful about something, anxious about something, then it also means that it is quite natural, and it also maybe mean that it is healthy, sometimes, because there are certain, and when you have that, then what you can do is you can be practically analyze the whole process, the whole thought, so analyzing is something that Buddha always advised. We call it contemplation. So you contemplate, analyze on that whole thought, which is creating this fear, right? So that will give you more clarity. Maybe sometime you can talk to somebody, while talking, in the talking itself, as you say something to somebody, in the talking itself, it becomes clear to you. And maybe that person, of course, a better person or equal person, as mentioned today, can also help you, But what you have to do is you have to do something, just talk to somebody, just analyze it, write it down, and be more, look from the different angle, perspective. And then still some fear will be there, because we are all not we are all not enlightened, no? So some fear will always remain there. And so that way I think fear is helpful, fear is useful, because in fact Buddha said that hiri ottappa lokapalaka dhamma. Lokapala, the protector of the world, is fear and shame. That's what Buddha said. But in other place, he says that we should be fearful. Abhaye bhayadasino, bhayecha bhayadasino, he said, which is like, if you have to be fearful where fear is necessary. You should not be fearful where fear is not necessary, which means to say that unhealthy fear or healthy fear, so that I think can come with proper, with some analysis, immediate thing we can do is analyzing, contemplating, any possible, look for an equal person or better person who is better to you, and have conversation, have discussion, and that will sometimes sort out the thing, easier, if yourself cannot come out of that, And fear just doesn't come from outer space, It comes through certain conversation, through certain events, through certain situation, through certain episode. It comes, right? And maybe past or future, generally, mostly future, we are more anxious about the future. So it's something that is not like, it doesn't come to us strangely. It doesn't come to us from some unknown reasons or some unknown sources. It comes through our own daily events, daily episodes. So you can just practically, have those discussion, conversation, dialogue, that helps us, and yeah, so that is one of the way of looking at it, Yeah. Okay. One more question. Yeah, yes. Any question from online? Please let me know. Huh?
Yeah, I was reading some book like, what is the meaning of dogma?
What is the meaning of dogma?
What is it actually?
Oh, you're asking me. Oh, I thought that it is a book that. Okay. So dogma, of course, dogma is, of course, the word of course, all of you know maybe that it is a kind of fundamentalist kind of mind, right? Where you are attached, or you are stubbornly holding to your own views, holding to your own perceptions, holding to your own thinking. You don't want to hear anybody, you don't want to change, even though sometime you know that it should change. You just stay with your own view. That is, and you make a view out of that. That is dogma. So that is something that we have to come out of. We have to we cannot just stick to one view. We have to our view should change, and change for better. So that's the Buddha's view on dogma. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so how to Varun Kumar, how to detach all relationship in, where is the question? How to detach all relationship in mentally, so as attachment are the source of suffering mentally. Okay. Yeah, so this online question. So of course, uh, attachment cannot immediately be you know cannot be cut. It will happen as you practice, uh, as you give up on a daily basis, as you do it bit by bit, slowly. If you do, then eventually it can go. And you have to replace attachment with love, because when you have love, you do what is needed, what is really needed to somebody. So instead of you just becoming attached to something, means you want to sometime, you want to uh, you want people to do as you want sometime, so that can take the attachment more and more further. So you can understand people and help them what they need, what you can do for them. Then eventually attachment can basically excessive attachment can go down, and you can replace it with love, compassion. Any other question online? No. Okay. Okay, so we conclude our Sunday evening program. Today it started little late, half an hour late, due to some other program which got stretched more, so we got little late. Otherwise, we started sharp 6 o'clock every Sunday. So you're all welcome every Sunday to come and join, and bring your friends and family who are interested. They can also come, and this will help you all to to gain more happiness, to make the mind life more joyful, and free your mind, and experience freedom more and more. So so we conclude here by praying for with the prayer for the whole world, for everybody's happiness. Sukhe bhaveyang nidukkha ahang nichang ahang viya ita cha me sukhe honto majjata jataverino imam hi gama khetam hi satta honto sukhe sada tato paranchara jeso Chakavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu.